screw it, I'm done.
What kind of place is this?
I tried to finish Fallout 2, I really did. I played over 30 hours of this game, and I don't know if I'll ever finish it. If you saw my Fallout 1 video, you already know that the game frustrated the hell out of me. So I figured Fallout 2 would be easier to play since I was familiar with the first game's mechanics, which are pretty similar. If you never played Fallout 2, here's a brief summary. I hated it, then I liked it, and then, well, it's mostly because it's buggy, frustrating, unfair, and extremely unbalanced, but also funny, quirky, and genuinely interesting.
The truth is, you lost an expensive piece of Army issue equipment. That suit is going to come out of your pay, and you will remain in this man's army until you are 510 years old.
Before we even talk about the game itself, let's talk about getting Fallout 2 to run. When I first booted it up, it crashed, it was laggy, and sometimes felt unplayable. And even further into the playthrough, I would have to keep quitting the game because it would run at like 1 FPS. And I get it's an old game, but I had none of these issues when playing the original. So after like 45 minutes of googling fixes, I finally got the game running. To give a brief summary of the story of Fallout 2, it starts as a barely competent tribal whose entire job is basically find the Gek or everyone dies. You go through the Temple of Trials, which I guess is a tutorial, and then head to Klamath. Right after getting there, I was already annoyed and ready to quit, but hear me out. Fallout 1's combat, which I already hated, is way better than Fallout 2's. When tackling my first quest, which was to kill rats, yes, rats, the easiest thing to kill in any Fallout game, I just kept getting killed. And this is because combat is seriously broken. The problem with killing them is you miss almost every attack and they never do. Even when putting points in the melee, I just could not hit them. So I decided to try something else. I head to the toxic caves to find a missing person, and nope, that's way too fucking hard too. Mind you, this is the first area you are supposed to visit in the game. Why is the game already this unbalanced? All you get when starting is a spear and healing powder that lowers your perception, which, guess what? Makes you miss even more of your attacks. What f***ing asshole decided that? And the thing is, combat never really improves. It's not that the combat is difficult, it's unfair. Even later in the game, I ran into issues like raiders surrounding me and stun locking my character so I would lose every turn, enemies randomly landing 200 plus critical hits and instantly killing me or my companions, which didn't make it feel like a well thought out or refined combat system in any way, which is terrible considering it's a major part of the game. But I pushed through at this point and I kept playing. Because when Fallout 2 isn't forcing you into combat and focusing more on characters and world building, it's actually great. When stumbling into places like Vault City, it was really cool to see a thriving town with grass, trees, and buildings that aren't made out of scraps. Talking to the NPCs there and learning about the lore of the city was just really interesting. And once I hit Reno, I was genuinely loving this game. It's because when you first visit the city, you're just shocked by how much character it has. It's got this gritty aesthetic with a larger than life feel to it considering how simple a lot of the other locations are. I boxed and got disqualified, gambled and lost all my money, and slept with the gang leader's daughter and got murdered by her guards. There's just a ton of different things to experience in this location. One thing that really did piss me off about Reno, which was less about the location itself and more about the game in general, was getting stuck in an endless dialogue loop with an NPC where I would reload the save and instantly get forced into dialogue, which resulted in me getting killed by everyone in the area. The only way to fix it was to reload an older save where I had to recomplete the quest that I had just done. But I also want to shout out the NCR because this made me appreciate Fallout 2 being a direct sequel. You meet Tandy, who was in the original game, and find out she played a major role in helping form the NCR. This got me thinking, how cool would it be to get a direct sequel in a Bethesda Fallout game? This game just does a great job of building a world that is in the same area with familiar locations that have changed and evolved over time while also adding new ones. Eventually though, the game's enjoyment started to wear off once I had to get back to exploring the world. This is because Fallout 2 has a random encounter problem, and that's because there's just way too many in this game. It's really inconsistent though because sometimes I could travel to a location no problem, and then other times there seemed to be a random encounter every other second. which made traveling take forever on top of your character just walking extremely slow across the map. Even after getting companions like Marcus, a mini-gun wielding mutant tank, these random encounters still felt way too difficult. Luckily, when revisiting an area that I had missed earlier in the game, I found out that you can buy a car, which is 100% necessary when playing because you get less encounters and just travel across the map way faster. Once I got to San Francisco, this is when the game really lost me. Not because of the town, but the quests that the town gives you. Everyone wants you to visit a location called Navarro, which is heavily guarded by the Enclave. The Enclave is basically the Brotherhood of Steel on steroids. They have great armor and weapons and kill you before you can do any damage to them. When getting there, I failed a speech check which lets you walk right into the base without needing to fight anyone. But I failed it, accidentally saved, and suddenly I was stuck in an area where I couldn't kill a single enemy. At that point, I was about to give up until I found an exploit where you could buy from vendors and steal your money back, which in my opinion is kind of ridiculous considering I never had to do that in Fallout 1. I exploited the vendors, I stole my money back, went back to Navarro, and I'm still getting killed in 2 turns. I eventually grind for more XP, gamble to get enough money for power armor, and even then it wasn't enough. I found out online I needed to be over level 20 to get through the base, and that I was going to do a lot more grinding even after doing a ton of side quests. So while grinding, I decided to head back to the Toxic Caves to grab the Bozar weapon. I noticed I gained a 3rd companion somewhere along the way, a hidden companion called the Pariah Dog. It drops your luck to 0 and gives you the Jinx trait, which makes you significantly more likely to miss shots, drop all your ammo, and break your weapon. And it doesn't only affect you. It affects your companions and enemies, which would have been a great thing if they still didn't hit 99% of their attacks regardless. And it's just a rare and random thing that happens with no warning. The only way to remove it is to kill it, but it has 750 HP. This is one of those terrible design choices that just ruined Fallout 2 for me. Instead of making things enjoyable for the player, it's like the devs cooked up the most annoying and inconsiderate shit possible. Who thought this would be a good idea to have? Since I didn't have the ammo or patience to try and kill the dog, I decided to see if there was another way to get rid of it. Apparently you can take it to the Sierra Army Base, which is only marked on your map through a quest you find in Reno. So after a wild goose chase, I got the quest, made it there, and didn't even have enough invested in lockpicking to get where I needed to go. This is literally Fallout 2 in a nutshell, a game that just wastes your time. And that exact reason is why I dropped the game. This game eventually turned into me backtracking constantly, grinding levels through random encounters just to try and fight overpowered enemies. Never in my 30 hours of playing Fallout 1 did I have to cheat the game using exploits or grind for hours just to finish it. I wouldn't even consider Fallout 1 that easy of a game. I mean, it's not the hardest, but it's paced so much better than Fallout 2. I don't think Fallout 2 is a terrible game. It's got great writing, interesting locations, quests, and did an excellent job building the aesthetics of the modern games. Fallout 1 was frustrating, but manageable. Fallout 2 is just ruined by terrible combat mechanics and other irritating game choices. I love parts of this game and I wanted to finish it. But after 30 hours of fighting with this game and endless grinding, I tapped out. If you love Fallout 2, I get it. If you bounced off like I did, trust me, I get that too. Let me know what you think about the game, and if you've got advice that won't ruin my sanity, I'm listening. Also, feel free to let me know some other games you would like me to try. Also, like, subscribe, and comment so I can grow my YouTube channel from a tiny little bean to a beanstalk.